Now, our top focus this hour is coming in from the state of Odisha, where the tragic self-immolation of a 20-year-old college student in Balasore has ignited statewide demonstrations and opened a Pandora's box of alleged abuse within Odisha's higher education system. 8 opposition parties, led by the Congress, have called for a statewide Odisha bandh today, demanding justice for the college student from Balasore who died after setting herself on fire. The student's self-immolation followed alleged inaction on her sexual harassment complaint against a professor at Fakir Mohan Autonomous College. It is expected to disrupt public transport and daily services, especially in Balasore and nearby districts. Protesters are holding marches and sit-in across the major towns to demand systematic reforms and accountability. But the real shock lies buried in 3 explosive letters written by the students. Letters that point to a sustained pattern of harassment, intimidation and administrative silence at Fakir Mohan Autonomous College in Balasore. Now let's walk you through those crucial letters. Dated 2nd July 2025, the first letter was addressed to the college principal through the head of the training center, FMTC. It says, and I quote, "You will not get into a good college, I'll give you a D grade. I'll make your 4-year course stretch to 6 years. I'll see each one of you in your semester." Now, these are just some of the verbal threats allegedly made by Dr. Samina Sahoo, the head of the Department of Teachers Education, according to the students. The letter accuses Dr. Sahoo of a constant mental harassment, using grades as a weapon against dissenting students. It notes that multiple written complaints were submitted to both the principal and the grievance committee, none of which yielded any action. As a result, students say they were deliberately given D or C grades, impacting their future academic prospects. Now comes the second letter, dated 30th June 2025. It comes from the local unit of the ABVP and is addressed to the principal of FM Autonomous College. The ABVP accuses the HoD of mental harassment, unfair academic treatment and biased grading, all of which allegedly caused serious distress among students. The letter even calls for the formation of a disciplinary committee and urges immediate action against the faculty members. And finally, the third letter is a handwritten personal complaint by a second-year integrated B.Ed students addressed to the internal complaint committee of the college. In painful details, the student describes being harassed by Samina Sahoo, including instances of classroom intimidation, misuse of academic power, and dragging personal matters into academic evaluations. The student writes, "I have already submitted complaints to the principal and other authorities, but no steps have been taken. This is not an isolated issue, but a recurring pattern of abuse that is being ignored," reads a line from the complaint. She ends by stating that the ongoing abuse has caused immense psychological trauma and pleads with the committee to take disciplinary action against Sahoo. Now, these letters, all written weeks before the students' self-immolation, have become the centerpiece of public outrage.
उड़िया अस्मिता को बचाने के लिए, उड़ीसा के बेटी को न्याय दिलाने के लिए आज कांग्रेस पार्टी सड़कों पर है। जिस तरह का जघन्य अपराध हुआ है, पूरा देश शर्मसार हुआ है। आज बीजेपी की फैक्ट फाइंडिंग टीम कहाँ है? बंगाल भेज सकते हैं, अन्य राज्यों में भेज सकते हैं, उड़ीसा में, महाराष्ट्र में, उत्तर प्रदेश में इनकी कोई फैक्ट फाइंडिंग टीम नहीं है। कहां सोए हैं? 7 दिन तक धरना देकर न्याय के लिए उस बेटी ने संघर्ष किया। मैं उसकी बहादुरी को सलाम करता हूं, लेकिन जिस तरह बीजेपी ने संगठित रूप से उसकी निर्मम हत्या की है, निश्चित तौर से पूरे देश का रूह कांप उठा है। सरकार को न्याय देना पड़ेगा, मुख्यमंत्री को इस्तीफा देना पड़ेगा, धर्मेंद्र प्रधान मानव संसाधन विकास मंत्री को इस्तीफा देना पड़ेगा। और जब तक सरकार इस्तीफा नहीं देती, लड़ाई आर पार की होगी, याचना नहीं अब रण होगा, संघर्ष बड़ा भीषण होगा, संघर्ष बड़ा भीषण होगा।
Strongly demand, the people of Odisha strongly demands there must be judicial inquiry. and to make this inquiry fair, impartial. The Higher Education Minister, the local Balasore Member of Parliament, the local Balasore Sadar MLA must resign from their respective posts.
आज ये बंद का ऐलान किए हैं हमारा पार्टी ऑल इंडिया फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉक, नेशनल कांग्रेस, एनसीपी, सीपीआई, सीपीएम, सीपीएम लिबरेशन, तमाम दलों ने ये बंद का ऐलान किया है। लोगों को हम आपके जरिए अपील करते हैं, उड़ीसा के स्वार्थ के लिए, ये धरती के माँ बहन की स्वार्थ की सुरक्षा के लिए आप लोग ये बंद को समर्थन कीजिए, रास्ते पे उतरिए। जो छात्र विरोधी छात्रा हत्या करी मोहन सरकार है उसके खिलाफ रास्ते में आइए, प्रतिवाद कीजिए, अपना बेटी बहुओं को बचाइए, माँ को सुरक्षा कीजिए। ये ऐलान है ऑल इंडिया फॉरवर्ड ब्लॉक की तरफ से।
And I'm joined by Subrat Dash on the phone line right now to get us all the details from ground zero. Subrat, ये बताइए कि आज उड़ीसा बंद की घोषणा की गई है कांग्रेस की तरफ से, और भी अन्य विपक्षी दल साथ आ रहे हैं इस मुहिम को सपोर्ट करने के लिए। क्या कुछ अवस्था अभी आप देख पा रहे हैं ऑन ग्राउंड? कितने हद तक ये बंद कामयाब साबित हो रहा है?
जी, ये आपको जानकारी देना चाहूंगा अपडेट की आज उड़ीसा बंद का आह्वान कांग्रेस के साथ उसका अलायंस पार्टी जो है, जैसे समाजवादी पार्टी और आरजेडी और सीपीआई का सब पार्टी मिलकर आज उड़ीसा बंद का आह्वान दिए हैं।
रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि आप हमारे साथ बने रहिए। आई एम ऑल्सो जॉइंड बाय डॉक्टर अमर पटनायक, who is a former MP from the Rajya Sabha from the BJD and is now a national spokesperson as well. Mr. Patnaik, good morning. Thank you for taking your time and joining us over here at News 9. What we are looking at right now in Odisha is a grim situation when it comes to women's safety. Of course, today is an opposition parties have given a call for Odisha Bandh, but the Chief Minister is not going to resign. What is your demand?
Our demand, as you have said very correctly, what an outrageous situation where a student, a girl student, was demanding justice for 15 days together, and nobody listened to her. And mind you, she was an ABVP worker, and her own party didn't listen to her. So we have been demanding, the Biju Janata Dal has been demanding the resignation of the Chief Minister and the Education Minister, both of whom she had tweeted. And, of course, a full-fledged judicial inquiry followed by criminal action. Because it is a question of utter callousness, insensitivity, apathy, which our state had never seen. And this was a student who was asking for justice from the entire system. The ICC, that is the Internal Complaint Committee, that also failed her within the system. And then she went up to the local MLA, to the local Member of Parliament, to the Education Minister, and to the Chief Minister. Why was she doing it? Because she had confidence that since she belonged to their party, at least they would listen to her. That didn't happen. What a betrayal.
And Mr. Patnaik, we have highlighted how there were 3 sets of letters written to the principal of the college and to the grievance committee that they had, but none of them yielded any results. All their grievances and all their cries for help went into vain. Do you feel there is a need for a policy reform when it comes to ensuring that grievance redressal and the manner in which these campuses are functioning, they need to be secured?
Absolutely. You see, I think you're probably not informed. Let me inform you that she had even filed a complaint in the local police station with the SP, and that complaint was never registered as an FIR. Now, what more callousness and shameful act could it be? But having said so, I would strongly feel, but that's my feeling, that the ICC mechanism is not really working well. There is no appeal mechanism there. Maybe there is a need for involving an outsider. Maybe the district judge becomes the head over there. And the grievance redressal mechanism has to be responsive. What is the point of having a system on pen and paper, and there is someone who is asking for justice, raised a voice, but there is no response? It is an irresponsive system that she collided against, and finally, was so crestfallen that she doused herself in fire. It's a really sad thing. And as you said very correctly, the incidents against women, the crime. This is the case of a student. This is a case of a woman student. But women in general, you would have heard, a few days ago in Gopalpur Beach, a woman was raped, gang raped. You know, in number of incidences, there's a report which has come out yesterday, which puts Odisha at number 1 in the country currently in terms of crime against women. Now, isn't it a very shameful thing? I'm just rising above politics to say what kind of society and governance we are doing, we are able to give to our girl students or our women of the country.
Absolutely, Mr. Patnaik. But, Odisha is a state that's got a woman deputy chief minister, and yet the issues of women seems to be brushed under the carpet. Women's safety becomes a comfortable vote bank politics right ahead of election, but once they come to power, they seem to forget about it. When ABVP's own letter wasn't paid heed to, what can other people expect about this?
Exactly, that is my point. And you see the kind of response that as you very correctly said, that the deputy chief minister is a lady, and so also is the speaker of the assembly. She hasn't uttered a word. And you see the ABVP. This was such kind of an incident where they should have risen above their party affiliation and should have organized a bandh across all colleges. Instead, they've just kept quiet. They were trying to reopen those colleges where students were enraged and wanted to close the colleges.
Mr. Patnaik, before I let go of you, shouldn't accountability be fixed? Shouldn't heads roll, not only of the principal, but those sitting in places of power to take decisions?
Absolutely. In fact, if you look at my tweet in the last couple of days, this is the language I've used: heads must roll. And that head need not be or cannot be only of the principal or of the concerned professor who was allegedly sexually assaulted this girl student, but the authorities above them who were responsible for ensuring that the ICC mechanism works. Now, who is that? It is the local MLA, the district administration, the MP. They are all from her own party, and the education minister, most importantly, and the chief minister, knowing fully well that crime against women is on the rise in this state after they have assumed charge in the last 1 year. There has been no kind of mechanism to improve the system, improve the governance, and it's really a pity. And I fully agree that the accountability has to be fixed at the top. The buck cannot stop at the principal's level. It has to be at the chief minister's level. And the inquiry, that is why we have been asking for a judicial inquiry, because a simple police inquiry, maybe by the crime branch, will not bring these authorities into its fold.